You know, I never figured I'd be staring down the barrel of something like this on my own land. Three shadowy figures smashing through my front gate in the dead of night, headlights slicing the darkness like knives, and my heart pounding like it had bust right out of my chest. My old mutt Max, that faithful German shepherd who's been by my side through every storm, let out this deep, rumbling growl that said trouble was here. And before I knew it, I had my grandpa's shotgun in hand, loaded and ready, because this farm in Willow Creek has been Harlan family soil for 4 generations, and no one's taking it without a fight. It started innocent enough, or so I thought. Just whispers around town about this new community group, the Willow Creek Association, pushing folks to sign up for better living standards. But deep down, I knew it was about control, about Elena Vargas and her crew squeezing out independent types like me who didn't want their rules dictating how I paint my barn or sell my eggs. It all hit home that night when the silence broke. My chickens had been clucking softly in the coop, that familiar farm hum that lulls you to sleep. Then bam. Nothing, just eerie quiet that made the hairs on my neck stand up. I slipped on my boots. Max already tensed like a spring, and through the window, those lights were sweeping aggressive, not like a lost driver, but like hunters closing in. The crash of wood splintering echoed. My gate that I'd reinforced myself last spring, gone in seconds. And worse, I heard a squawk from the coop. One of my hens caught in the chaos, feathers flying, blood on the wire. Pure rage boiled up because these weren't random punks. They were sent, and Max charged ahead, all muscle and instinct, trained from puppyhood to guard this place like his life depended on it. I followed, floodlights kicking on, illuminating the mess. 3 guys in black hoodies, one clutching a tire iron still dripping splinters. My chickens scattered and terrified, that injured hen limping with a gash that'd need stitches. Max zeroed in on the leader, taking him down at the knees with a ferocious leap, the guy yelping and dropping his wallet in the dirt as he scrambled back to their beat-up truck parked just off my line. The others froze when they saw me step out, shotgun leveled, my voice steady despite the adrenaline. Get the hell off my land and tell whoever paid you that Jack Harlan doesn't fold easy. And to drive it home, I fired a warning into the sky, the boom echoing like Judgment Day, sending them peeling out into the night, taillights fading like cowards running. Picking up that wallet under the harsh light, my hand still shaking a bit, I flipped it open. Driver's license for some guy named Derek Hale, but tucked behind was a receipt, a wire transfer from the Willow Creek Association, Elena's outfit, and it clicked. This wasn't just intimidation. It was her move in a bigger game, motivated by greed over land values, wanting to flip our rural spots into upscale developments where she could rake in fees and control sales, resenting holdouts like me who reminded her of her own failed family farm back east, or so the rumors went. Morning came harsh, coffee going cold as I surveyed the wreckage, gate twisted like pretzels, coop wire bent, that hen bandaged but skittish, the whole flock off their feed, and my neighbor Tom hollered over the fence, "Jack, you all right? Heard the ruckus." His face darkening when I filled him in, mentioning how Elena's been circling farms like a vulture, promising security but delivering threats. Then, like clockwork, this sleek black Mercedes purrs up, Elena stepping out in her power suit, heels sinking a tad in the gravel, briefcase in hand, that fake smile plastered on like she was selling salvation. "Mr. Harlan," she cooed, all honey and venom, eyeing the broken gate without a blink. "What a shame about last night. Random vandals, I bet. But our association could prevent that, with proper oversight." I crossed my arms, Max growling low at her side. "Funny you show up now, Elena, almost like you got a tip-off. Coincidence?" She laughed, sharp as glass. "Oh, Jack, don't be paranoid. We're here to help folks like you maintain value." And shoved this thick contract my way, pages dripping with clauses, 400 monthly dues, rules on fence colors, even dictating my egg buyers through their approved vendors, basically chaining my livelihood to her whims because she saw independence as threats to her empire building, her own backstory of losing everything in a bad deal making her ruthless about control. I scanned it, gut twisting. This ain't help, it's a leash. Why not just take my keys while you're at it? My sarcasm bouncing off her like water on wax. But her eyes narrowed, smile turning icy. Think of the benefits. Higher property values, community support. Non-members, well, they struggle with suppliers. Rumors spread fast about quality. It was a veiled threat, her motivation clear. Power over land she couldn't own outright. jealousy toward families like mine who'd held on, and as she drove off in a puff of dust, I felt the noose tightening, wondering if fighting was worth losing everything. Days blurred into sabotage. Anonymous note in my mailbox warning, "Your eggs are tainted. Don't sell." Chilling because who knew my schedule that well? Then a convoy rolls up, Elena leading a pack of inspectors, clipboard warriors fanning out in my coop like they owned it. "Community health check," she announced grandly. But I spotted one slipping something into the feed trough, and suddenly my prize hen Daisy starts convulsing. Foam at her beak, eyes glazing. Panic hit, but it was too staged, her recovering mysteriously after they left, vet baffled, but me knowing it was poison. Elena's way to smear me as negligent, driven by her fear of exposure if one farmer stood firm. Rumors exploded, buyers canceling, old friends like Mrs. Ellis calling worried. "Jack, heard your birds are sick, can't risk it." My reputation crumbling because Elena manipulated community trust, her own isolation from a bitter divorce fueling her need to dominate. The town meeting was the boiling point, hall packed tighter than sardines, Elena at the podium like a queen, her fake expert droning about contamination risks on my farm, but I stood up. "What pathogens exactly, buddy?" His stammer giving him away, and then Sarah from down the road played her phone video, grainy but damning, showing Elena's goons sprinkling powder near my troughs. Chaos erupted, Elena snapping, "Out of context!" But her mask cracked, voice rising shrill. "This man's a menace, refusing standards puts us all at risk." Her desperation showing, motivated by a crumbling facade, her schemes unraveling if the town united. I left fuming, but the real gut punch came next morning. Every hen tag snipped clean, my flock untraceable. Buyers bolting because undocumented birds screamed shady. Economic chokehold, Elena's endgame to force sale, her envy of my roots turning personal. Max, bless him, dug up the tags hidden in a sack by the shed, footprints leading to a watch spot, proving pros were involved. And that's when I called my old buddy Mike, a reporter from college. This is bigger than me, spilling it all, him digging into Elena's past, shady deals in 3 states, fake creds, a trail of ruined farms. That's when the tide turned, unexpected like a summer squall. Midnight knocks booming, Elena on my porch with burly enforcers, waving court papers for a forced takeover, her eyes wild. "Sign or lose it all, Jack. This order says we inspect now." I cracked the door, shotgun hidden. "Midnight raids? That's not law, that's thuggery." But her guys advanced, smashing a window, and Max exploded out, tackling one with a savage bite, the scream piercing as I stepped forward, firing skyward. "Next one's for keeps!" Them freezing, Elena screeching, "Restrain that beast!" But sirens wailed, Sheriff Daniels rolling up with lights blazing, Mike in tow filming everything. "Those papers fake as your smile, Elena!" the sheriff barked, examining seals that screamed forgery, her face crumpling as cuffs clicked. "This is federal now. Your ring's done." Turns out, Elena ran a syndicate, extorting farmers for land grabs, her motivation rooted in a childhood farm foreclosure that twisted her into a predator, using actors and bribes to break spirits. But my stand, Max's teeth, that shotgun echo, cracked it wide open, feds swarming, arrests cascading like dominoes. In the aftermath, as dawn painted the coop golden, neighbors flooded in, Tom with tools to fix the gate, Sarah baking pies in apology. We should have seen through her sooner. Buyers returning with bonuses, the co-op waiving fees, even kids from school petting Max the hero dog. Feds seized her assets, compensating victims across states. Elena facing decades behind bars, her empire dust because overreaching exposed her. Ironic, huh? How her greed boomeranged. My farm thrived stronger, community knitting tight without her poison. But here's the twist that still nags. Was I right to pull that trigger in warning? Or did I escalate too far, blurring self-defense and vigilante? In a world where associations promise unity but deliver division, where do you draw the line on protecting what's yours? Back down to keep peace, or fight like hell, even if it risks everything? Drop your thoughts below. What would have you done in my boots? Hit like if this hit home, subscribe for more Real Talk tales, and share if you've faced bullies like Elena. Let's chat in the comments because stories like this, they remind us we're not alone.